Hello, everybody. All right. So, as you can see, I did go ahead and do a little bit of exploring ahead of time. Yeah, but I figured we can explore the rest of the ruins today. But first, I'll just check and make sure everything's working. I am so far to the side of this, so I thought that I had adjusted the camera as I wanted to. But today I will be sitting a little more than usual, because usually I like to stand around here. That's too high. Oh no, Kitty, why are you rambunctious, sir? Oh, where's the kitty? Goes exactly where I need to be. Excuse me. Thank you, sir. You're a good boy. Good job. See, look at him. He's a very good boy. So I'm gonna be sitting today. Main reason is because I was having some foot issues. Like, I injured my foot, and I thought that it was issues that I had known about. Lo and behold, I had additional issues that were kind of serious. So I'm gonna be sitting today. Additional issues. Oh, I sound very loud. Okay. Let's see if I sound a little better now. Oh, I sound very loud. Oh, okay. Let's see if I sound a little... That's much better. Okay, perfect. So yeah, long story short, additional issues unforeseen. Oh, Kitty looks very cute right now. I had to look at him. I had to look at his beautiful visage. So long story short, I won't be standing the way I normally stand. I'll just sit down for this stream. Hopefully for future, my foot's doing much better than it has been doing in the past 2 weeks. Yeah, I think it started feeling bad a little more than 2 weeks ago, and then I did stream and I was up and I was like, oh, it's fine, I can just kind of train my feet the way I normally do. No, I could not. I could not. So what I needed was rest. So I took last week off. And then I felt like streaming today. I was so on the fence, but I was like, I kind of want to do it. So I did, but I'll be sitting. I'm just posting this on socials. If you're watching ahead of time, oh my goodness, if you're watching in the future, feel free to jump ahead about a minute or so, and we should be rocking and rolling by then. And I have no idea, for the life of me, how to pronounce these ruins. I don't know if it's Rauh? Rauh? I'm gonna call it Rauh. It sounds like it makes sense. So there we go. And I'll have the stream on, just in case Mr. Kitty wants to come over here. He's way over there. I'd like to put this here, but if Mr. Kitty starts mischief, then, you know what, I can put the computer here. It won't be in my immediate view, but I'll be able to look at it if I want to. Yeah, so the other week, after I finished streaming, I figured out that I wanted to continue exploring. I was like, well, do I feel like stopping playing right now? I was like, no, I just feel like stopping streaming, because streaming does take out a certain amount of imagine I can use a horse. It takes a certain amount of energy, and just playing takes, I would say, less energy. Hi, Sophie! Oh my goodness, thanks for coming along even for 5 minutes. I'm explaining myself. Maybe I'm over-explaining. But yeah, the point is, oh my goodness, how many runes do I have? I have 200,000. There is it looks like a Crucible Knight over there, so I will most certainly lose that. So instead of being guaranteed to lose it, why don't I just cash in some chips? And I'll cash in chips. How many do I need? I need probably like well over 300,000. Let's be real. So selected number. Let's do 11. Let's crank it up to 11. But this place is beautiful, and I will say that it was a lot of fun exploring. Like, I did some exploring on my own. A lot of treachery and scorpions. I need... Oh, I was close. Look how close I was with that math. And I didn't even remember exactly how many I needed to level. But hey, sometimes I'm not a complete failure at math. I used to be decent at it. There we go. This should probably do it. And then level. What am I leveling? I think I've been leveling faith lately. I think I would like to get to 24 faith, and then I'll go back to strength. Because I found that with Mesmer there are a few incantations that I like wanted to do and I couldn't, and needed at least 24 faith. So I'm like, oh, why don't I just kind of work on that? Because when you're here in the Shadow Realm. When you're here in the Shadow Realm, the Shadow Realm, the Shadow Tree blessings are what you like actually need. So these guys are scary and big, and I am not well suited to fighting them. So rude. I forget his name, but he reminds me of the armored character from Dark Souls 1. It's cool that he can become like a four-legged centaur. Like, that's... What in the hell? Oh, that's really cool. I am massively distracted by his coolness. Okay, there we go. That wasn't too bad. I knew I needed magic for that. Devonia's hammer. Crucible hammer helm. Oh, that's cool. So is that Devonia that I just battled? Let's take a look at the items. What's the meaning of this? Yes, hammer shark hat. It's what we all aspire to look like, I think. Certainly me. Great hammer wielded by Devonia, the longest serving of the Crucible Knights. Weapon forged in primordial gold, marked by its reddish hue and inhabited by ancient holiness. A torrent of life is engraved upon the striking face. A torrent of life. Because that kind of is the Crucible, isn't it? It's like a primordial soup full of life. And if you can, hear my body creaking, no you can't. No, you sure can. Bye, Sophie, thank you! Using the power of the Crucible Vortex, violently spin the hammer around and slam the ground, causing a shockwave. This skill can be charged to increase its power. Alright, perfect. So she was the longest serving of the Crucible Knights. And she's like stuck here in the Shadow Realm. Okay. High Priest hat. Oh my goodness, did I ever read this? The circular design at the top represents the greater will and its lightless abyss, imparting increased intelligence and arcane to the wearer. Though Count Emir instructed R'hllana in the sorcerer's arts, he abandoned his allegiance to the moon. It was merely the closest of the celestial bodies, nothing more. Oh wow, so he was looking for deeper set glintstone sorcery, probably like deeper into the universe. Wow, that's cool lore. So he was the one who trained R'hllana. That's interesting because you can see there's no glintstone in his hat. That's so interesting. The greater will and its lightless abyss. It's basically space. Helm worn by Devonia, longest serving of the Crucible Knights. Holds power of the Crucible of Life, the primordial form of the Erd Tree. Strengthens aspects of Crucible incantations. It's said that Devonia quested in search of the Crucible's origin, and departed from the lands of the Erd Tree alone. So that's how she ended in here in the Shadow Realm. That was extremely cool. Like, even though that wasn't, you know, perhaps the fairest fight, because I was using, like, long-distance sorcery at her. That was cool, and I like her. I like that she was, like, a centaur. Like, truly. Would take her to dinner, I think. She can't be back, can she? Nope. So we might, it's possible that we might be able to get to the next boss, but I'm not sure. I figured I'd just play it by ear. Not sure if I'm gonna play for a long time, or an hour, or 2 hours, or more. Who knows? My aim here is just mainly to have fun. I've been playing a lot of Mario Kart and having revelations. This is just a crazy thing to say. But I was thinking, like, well, I could look up various strategies for Mario Kart and become a better player. And then I was thinking, is that what I really want? Or do I just want to play this for the pure fun of it and not want to care about whether or not I'm, like, the best possible skilled player? And I kind of had that revelation. I'm like, huh, I think I'm okay with just, like, playing this, like, purely for fun. Like, I'm a better player than the NPCs, but say if somebody else who was very good at Mario Kart were to challenge me, I might not win. That's the sort of thing. And I think that's kind of this philosophy that that I grew up with gaming. I was always kind of competitive, but at the same time I really just played for fun. And then gaming really became, like, really took off. Hey Garware, how are you? Meow. Gaming as a hobby really took off. And people found a lot of success in various forms. And then I think ever since the pandemic hit, I've taken a different turn on gaming, because, like, there was so much chaos and, like, honest to God suffering that I endured during that time, and, like, still, but, like, mainly through 2024. And I was like, what do I want out of gaming? Because gaming is one of those things that I've always loved and probably always will love. But I noticed that gaming as a, I guess as a hobby has really changed. And I'll say for the worse. And the culture, it's the culture of gaming. Plus the industry's been really awful. Like, a lot of the companies have just shown that they're extremely greedy. They don't care about the workers and the people who are so foundational to what made them successful. Same with gaming news as well. Like, there's so many gaming journalists that I know of that I really respect, who have been really wandering about the gaming industry trying to find footing again after losing job after job. And I'm like, huh, do I really want to be so on with gaming? And I realized, like, no, I think that what I really want is just to have fun. I don't want to join any rat race, and I don't want to do content for the sake of, like, oh no! What on earth? Oh my god, it's one of those guys! Oh, I'll have to use torrent for this. I don't think I've defeated any one of those guys. Oh, you've been good? I'm glad. Saludar. Is that like you're kind of passing by to say hello? Solo paso a saludar. I think so. I'm bad at, like, I say this every time. I try to be okay at Spanish. Mainly I fail, but I like Spanish and I want to be better at it. Thank you so much. Thank you for passing by. Very much appreciate it. I guess with gaming, I'm like, huh, do I want to, like, I wanted to, I think my goal, what was my goal? I don't know. I think it was to talk about as much as I could and discuss things that excited me about gaming and to stay up on gaming news and everything. That was something that I would say was important to me. And I'd say still is. I just kind of fell off the horse in the past few years, and I didn't want to force myself to join the rat race for the sake of it. Because my goal is just, honest to God, enjoying games. It's something that I've always loved, and I don't want anything at all to tarnish that. Even with content too, I felt that I will make it when I feel not necessarily called to, but motivated. I suppose that means the same thing. But when I feel motivated to do it, I'll do it. And so what you'll see from me will just be things that I truly want to make. It won't be from any sort of pressure to stay consistent or perform. I think when I was doing the most videos, this is a random rant, but I'll take this subject matter and just kind of talk about it, because I think I've been wanting to. I was talking to my friends a little bit about this yesterday. What was I saying? But yeah, I think my main thing is just like, I just want to have fun. I only want to make something if I truly feel called to and truly want to. I don't want to do it for the sake of keeping up with the pace of gaming, because I know that I can't at the moment, and instead of being frustrated by that, which I can be, I'm gonna try to choose instead to just really enjoy myself and engage in gaming the way that I always have and always want to. Do I want to try with this guy? I don't know, I've never... I've never once defeated one of these dudes. Look at his health bar, it's still in perfect condition. Hi Frankie, hi Hollow Knight. Well, thanks for passing by, Hollow Knight. I really do appreciate it, even if like you just come in to pass by or you want to lurk a little bit and you don't feel like talking, like please know I completely support that. Oh, he's kicking his little feet at me. I don't know. Should I continue? You know what? I don't think I want to. Just had a speech. They're like, I do what I want. So yeah, that's why you've seen a lot less from me. Oh, there's a Grace right here. Okay. And it's not to say that I'm not enjoying gaming as much. Like, I still love these games, but I suppose I don't want to put pressure on myself to perform for other people necessarily. Yeah, I completely understand. It's tough. Like, I have friends who I talk to who are living throughout, like, England and the EU, and I think that the most difficult ones to correspond with are them. Like, it's harder for me to correspond with the people in the UK and EU than in, like, Australia. In Australia, I feel like our timelines align because my sleep schedule's in shambles. So that fact coupled with like my insane hour is an Australian's normal hour. And I respect that. So I'm at Rauh Ancient Ruins West. I don't know why I want to say rest. I'm just gonna explore a bit. I have no clue. I watched a Fightin' Cowboy video a few weeks ago about this general area, just to make sure that I was doing it well. And I did the first half really well. I don't know if I watched the rest of this. No, you know what? I didn't. I didn't watch the rest of his video because I didn't want to get spoiled. Oh, goodness. Oh, Lord. Oh, no. So that's where I was. I'm trying to figure out, like, where was I? Where do I want to be? Oh, good God. I watched, there was another Fightin' Cowboy video that I watched. So he was recently playing Assassin's Creed Shadows, which recently released. And the dumbest people on Earth, of course, are creating discourse about that, but, you know, these people, they're just extremely prejudiced, so I don't take any stock into what they say, and I don't think that what they say is important whatsoever. Because, yeah, like, if you're stupid and you're prejudiced, I don't want to listen to you or your opinion. However, he was playing Assassin's Creed Shadows, which features Yasuke, which is a historical figure. Not much is definitively known about him, but we know that he was African, and he became, evidence shows, like, no 100%, like, confirmation, but evidence shows that he was a samurai. So the game features Yasuke, and people are upset because they're racist and dumb. But, like, I was watching Fightin' Cowboy, and he was complaining about that, and I really appreciated that he's not one of the gaming grifters who would, I don't know, feed into the ignorance of the world, and instead he's using his platform, which is a considerable platform, to stand up, and that's something that I really appreciated. I made sure to comment on that and just say thank you for that. Try precious item and then let there be spirit spray. What's the precious item? I should appreciate that message. Read it good. Applaud it. Yeah, that's part of the reason why, like, just gaming, the culture of it has become so toxic that it worries me about the future. And I mean, I know it's more than gaming. It's like the culture in general, but gaming especially. It's one of those spaces that I think is at the forefront of a lot of that generalized ignorance that's going on. Because I think that it's easy pickings for a lot of people, a lot of, like, vulnerable people who are vulnerable to taking on an ignorant mindset, let's just say. I mean, we're all feeling uncertain right now, and that's normal, but like, but that vulnerability makes it easy for some folks to be indoctrinated. Yes, you watched it, Frankie? I did too. I really enjoyed it. I watched it all, but I have to say I really, really appreciated it. Okay, so it looks like is there a stone that I need to break? Ah! The freaking dragonflies are kicking my ass. So it said precious item. What is it? Trap acquired ahead, so to speak. Try precious item. I feel so silly. What item do I have? What do I have in my inventory? The Moke Shackles! Oh, thank you, Frankie. I don't know if I would have figured that out on my own, frankly. Frankly, Frankie, I don't think I'd be able to figure that out. Oh, the dragonflies are kicking my butt. Threat item type, which is good. Did I ever read that? Well, I'll do that later, hopefully. I think I miss out on some lore because I get so eager and I just keep playing and then I forget. Ooh. Use FP to release a fire sprite that bounces along the ground. A Rauh burrow inhabited by a fire sprite. Craftable item. Uses FP to release a fire sprite that bounces along the ground. The sprite pierces through enemies, dealing fire damage. Of all the sprites, the fire sprites are said to be the most boisterous in nature. I would love to see that in action. How many of... I have one, so I'm not going to test that. The Moke Shackle. It's somewhere, I swear. I probably just plain missed it. I remember it looked like a little square, I think? Yes. Ah, look at that! Somewhere, a spirit spring has been unsealed, and it looks like it's right here. The dragonflies are being so mean. Hello? Okay. Yeah, I'm all for making fun of Assassin's Creed Shadows, but there's a lot of hate about that stuff that shouldn't matter. I agree. Like, if you're gonna criticize a game, criticize, like, what actually makes a game not so fun. And not, I don't know, ignorant stuff. I also, speaking of that, I watched the show, like the miniseries this week called Adolescence. It's about that, and about how these, like, mainly young boys have been indoctrinated to have these extremely ignorant beliefs lately. It's very scary. And I'm, like, worried for those friends of mine who are parents, and I'm like, how do we protect the kids from that? Because that's what they're looking at. Necessary item ahead. I feel like everything in culture is like pointing them in that direction. You're like, how do you protect the young girls from feeling the brunt of it, and the young boys for falling victim to it? Hard to say. That is a very cool character design. Divine bird feathers. Where? Divine bird feathers. Is that here? Oh, I think, was that an incantation? I think it was an incantation. A technique of the Divine Bird Warriors, the very first of all horned warriors, wielded as an incantation. Spread the arms wide like wings to release a flurry of feathers. This incantation can be cast while in motion. Hold to continue releasing feathers. Ooh, sorry. Digesting the sushi I had earlier. Divine Bird Warriors, and indeed this technique, are said to bear resemblance to the Golden Crucibles. Yeah, a lot of crucible action here in the Shadow Realm. Yeah! That's what I heard! I saw that, like, you can, like, even Fighting Cowboy, he's like, you're really complaining because you can kiss a boy? Just, like, don't kiss a boy if you don't want to kiss a boy. And I'm like, damn right! It's like, kiss a boy if you want to, but if you don't. So, like, you're dumb. And I saw another person, it was like a romance Latina non-binary person and a woman, and someone was complaining about it, and they're like, well, you know, you only get this if you actively flirt with that person, so that's on you. Like, I don't know, whatever happened to people taking any responsibility for their actions? That is a non-thing now. If gay romance people complained about it, but you have to work hard for hours and choose the right dialogues for the romance to happen. Yeah, it's wild out there. I truly don't understand. Like, down to the core, I don't get it. This is something that looks like it opens from below. Behold injustice. Acquire materials. A burrow. Okay, wow, that looks like sacred. If you look at the designs, it looks almost interconnected. What do they call it? I think they call it tracery. Kind of like Celtic knots almost, which you'll see in like Viking and ancient, like Celtic, Irish, Scottish, etc. Probably Welsh too, I'm not sure. Type of iconography. Oh my god, hello! Yeah, 1 month ago, the same happened with Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Same thing regarding gay romance. It's a broken... Yeah, it really is. Like, if you don't... Like, this thing, if you don't want to have a gay romance, don't have a gay romance. Like, come on. You're probably an adult. Or close enough to an adult. Like, you can read and write. Like, you're close enough to an adult that you can make decisions for yourself that you're responsible for. Even I'd say, like, a later teen, even if you're not technically an adult, if you're a later teen, you can make those decisions on your own. Like, this isn't something that's inflicted upon you. You're making the decisions and you're responsible for it. It's so dumb. Just in general, I've seen a lot of, like, really generalized ignorance about a lot of different concepts, and it scares me greatly. Because I do feel like we've gone backwards instead of forwards in the past, I don't know, I'd say 10-ish years. And it makes me sad that, like, kids now can't... Why is it always jumping? Like, they can't just grow up in a place that's, like, safe for them, where they are able to, like, that nurtures their learning and their development and their curiosity, and instead they're being indoctrinated into things. Awful. Be wary of jumping. All of these are great notes. But I'm glad that the show Adolescence got made. I'm glad that it... I mean, it's a British drama, but I'm glad that it went straight to Netflix so it can hit a really nice and wide audience. It's very compelling. Very scary. Like, terrifying, actually. To think that it's so easy for young kids to fall into these really very ignorant ideologies. Very common nowadays. But also, I think it's also very important for both kids and adults to realize that, like, you know, you can be responsible for your actions, and you have to be. It's very important. Like, there's this one... Oh, shit, I'm gonna die. Oh, I did not! There's this wonderful line in, that Sandra Hüller says in the movie from last year... Not last year. Oh, shit! Now I'm dead. Okay. I pressed the wrong button. It's called Anatomy of a Fall. And she was berating her husband. She was like, and I hear this in my head whenever I think of somebody trying to be a victim. And she goes, "You are not a victim." So it's like, no, like, less people, some people, like, don't want to take responsibility for their actions. But you should. You become a better person when you do. And it's okay to admit when you make a mistake to the right people. I think some people are awful, but, like, to the right people, you can say, like, hey, I really messed up and I'm sorry. That's right, Frankie. It makes me sad. I also watched a video by a creator named Mina Lay about the death of sincerity on the internet, which I highly recommend. And it's true, like, the internet used to feel more sincere. I think that the fact that they've greatly incentivized by, like, adding monetization and things like that, they've incentivized, like, a lot of, like, ignorant opinions and rage baiting. It's stopped being, like, a wondrous, magical place where you can just kind of meet people and have fun. Hi, Inspector! And it makes me sad because I feel like the golden age of the internet has truly come and gone. We are in a different phase of that now. It truly makes me sad, especially for younger people. Like, I'm glad that I have that as a younger person because I was a nerd and I didn't connect with people easily, so I found other people who kind of felt the same way I did. I made good friends. That's not to say that I haven't made good friends lately. Like, I truly have, and I've been very lucky, in a way, to meet the people that I have in the time that I've spent. But I guess I'm worried for younger folks who might feel just as alienated. But instead of, you know, being like me and finding, like, maybe like-minded people and being open-minded and to new experiences, they get, like, indoctrinated into really backwards ideologies. So, oh, yes, it is the 10th anniversary of Bloodborne. That's nuts. It's hard to think that it's been 10 years. Bloodborne changed my life in a lot of ways. I'd say mostly good. Like, I started to get back into the horror genre because of it. I had dropped off since the early 2000s because, like, I wasn't really a fan of a lot of the early 2000s horror. It was, like, way too intense for me. Whereas I grew up on things like Scream and Poltergeist, Silence of the Lambs, like, really classic, good horror. And then in the early 2000s, I think a lot of the... Like, they had good Japanese horror, but then America kind of took that over. And apparently a lot of the point of the Japanese horror kind of got muddled in the American versions. And then it was, like, scary for the sake of being scary, which I wasn't a huge fan of. Like, I guess I like there being reasons for stuff. Not that there necessarily was a reason for it in Scream, but Scream was, like, a nice... what would I call that? I forget the word. It subverted the horror genre and it subverted the slasher genre, and I appreciated that. That's what I wanted to say, I think. So I grew up with those, and then I kind of fell off of horror for a very long time, and then I experienced Bloodborne, and it made me open to it again. I'm like, what have I missed? I've missed probably like 15 years worth of like good stuff, and so I delved further into it. Bloodborne also truly made me want to explore the lore, like the lore of these games, where like it made me so curious in a good way, because I was like, why are these, like, the Bloodborne I almost quit a few times, and I didn't have any access to the at the time shared PS4. I think it was like 4 to 6 months, but I kept being like, why do the people of Yharnam hate me? What's up with that? And the mystery really spurred me forward. So I really fell in love with that game, and even though I couldn't play it for 6 months, I found myself unable to stop thinking about it. And I think I read the beginning of Redgrave's long essay on Bloodborne. I forget what it was called. I think it's called The Pale Blood Hunt. Which I remember not agreeing with 100% of what he said, but it was so... What he was saying was very compelling, very well researched, and well thought out, that I really liked it. I have, once I finished the game, I went back to the Pale Blood Hunt and I finished it. I read all of it. But realizing that there's so much more to these games than meets the eye, and what you get out of these games is as much or as little as you want. It brought me back to a time where games, like, were just like that. Like, you never knew enough about them because technology was not super advanced. The games were very difficult. The Blood Fiend's fork. Oh, I do like thrillers, Inspector. I'm like waxing on about it, but yeah, Bloodborne was good. And I think the point of what I was saying is that I got so into the lore that that's how I had this YouTube page since 2005. But it was mainly for a cosplay skit I was doing with friends. So, and their video was locked because it was from Beetlejuice. So I was like, oh, I need to unlock the video. I need to get an account. So that's how I got my account. That's why it's my first name only. Cause like, whoa, am I gonna die? Maybe? Oh no, I guess not. Oh shit. Oh no, hello. Excuse me, I like Scorpios, okay? So rude. Even the children are rude. No, he's gonna get me. I would say I liked thrillers all the while, though. But it made me more open to the genre, which has opened me up to watching all different kinds of movies, getting into games that were similar. I ended up reading a lot of H.P. Lovecraft's shorter stories and some of his longer stories too. Like In the Mountains of Madness, I read. Shadow over Innsmouth, I read. I think I read all of Call of Cthulhu. Like having an understanding of what cosmic horror is and what that means from like an anthropological standpoint. Man, Bloodborne's a good game, and I'm so happy that it was created. I think it changed me as a person for the better. But it started me out on the YouTube journey as well. I've gotten to know some really wonderful people through Bloodborne and all the Souls games. It kind of like, I mean, I always loved gaming, so I can't say that it made me rediscover the joy of gaming, because I've always loved it. But I think it brought me to a new phase of it, and allowed me to challenge myself in ways that I didn't know I was capable of. So Bloodborne is one of my favorite games ever. And as you can see, I'm still playing the FromSoft games. I love them. And I always will, I think. Or even if I have a period where I fall off, I'm always going to feel very deeply sentimental about them. Are these flying scorpions? Oh dear Lord. I did, Frankie. I actually, on this channel, I have a review of Call of Cthulhu. I loved it personally. It was during a period of time around like 2018 where I was between jobs and I had quite a bit of time on my hands. So I ended up playing a lot of like different games, and I discovered a lot of really good AA games. Call of Cthulhu is one of them. That's like one of my niches. It's one of the things that I actually love. Like, I love AA games by studios who maybe are kind of up and coming, but making damn good games. I really liked it in general. I thought it was a very good experience, especially if you wanted to discover some cosmic horror. I think I remember the gameplay was just a tad janky, but I love Anthony Howell. Anthony Howell played the main character in the Call of Cthulhu game. He was also the main character in the game Vampire, which I believe came out in the same year. I also have a review of that on my channel. I loved both games. I feel like if I did, oh wow, if I did have more time on my hands in general, and say if I was like a full-time YouTube creator, I would do Souls stuff, but I think I would also focus on like AA games that maybe like people would miss because they're not necessarily on everyone's radar. Because those are some of my favorite games I found. And I'm like, nah, I'm a big believer in them. And one thing I found is that the creators of those games are so generous and so kind and so appreciative of everybody who recognizes their games, no matter how large or small their audience is. Like, in the grand scheme of things, I have a very small audience, but I talked a lot about in Vampire. I remember very clearly in the review of Vampire that I did, I talked about Olivier I forget his last name. But the soundtrack of Vampire, and the composer went on and thanked me for talking about how good it was. But truly, I believe it's an outstanding soundtrack. I ended up getting, I think it's Olivier Derivier, I think. I ended up getting a signed, I bought a signed CD of it as well. I still have it in my car. Because I live for the tunes. I need the music. Yes, Vampire is so good. So Anthony Howell played the protagonist of both games. Anthony Howell is also Margit and Morgott in Elden Ring. I don't know how to say this without saying this. I shat a brick. When I found out I was like, that's Anthony Howell? I think he's phenomenal. He's a great, truly great voice actor. Underappreciated in my opinion. I would love to hear him as a main protagonist in more games. In Call of Cthulhu, he did an American accent. Crazy, right? And he was very good. Very good at it. What have I done? I found an elevator. He's a British actor. Did an American accent. Oh my goodness. My nose is so itchy. I don't know where I'm going. There's so many different ways and I'm very confused. He plays Geppetto and Lies of P. That's another game that I would like to play. I was telling my friends yesterday that I've kind of given up on the whole concept of having a game backlog because it was torturing me. It was doing more harm than good to think, oh, I have all these games in my backlog, I have all these games in my backlog. Sounding like a broken record. Realizing that I was spending a lot of time on games here like Elden Ring, and I'm also playing Baldur's Gate 3. I'm still playing it! Still haven't finished. I'm really late into Act 3 though, and I think I'm close to finishing. I've done most of the companion side quests. I finished I think Astarians? No, yeah, Astarians was the last one I completely finished. I rescued Will's dad from the Iron Throne, which I'm very, very proud of. It did take me 3 attempts though at the Iron Throne quest. What a pain. But I rescued Will's dad because I'm all about rescuing the dads. You got a dad that needs rescuing, I'm here. We'll rescue the dad. But I've stopped thinking like, oh no, if I take my time on these games, I'm gonna have all these other games to play. And then that was kind of affecting my level of fun and raising my anxiety. So I'm like, okay, there are games that I certainly want to play after these. Alan Wake 2 being foremost among them. But I'm not gonna think of it as a backlog anymore. I'm gonna think of it more okay, I'm gonna take my time and I'm gonna enjoy this. And then after I'm done, I have a few games that I'd like to play. But if something comes up that's brand new that I want to play instead, I'll do that. I'm trying to try very, very hard not to stress about it. There's a Shadow Tree fragment near the elevator. If you see an enemy with a vase in his head, has it. Okay, so maybe I'll go back to the elevator. Thank you, Frankie. I don't know, I feel like waxing philosophical today. I don't know why. Yeah, I think it was the discussion I had yesterday with my friends, and we were just talking about how our lives are so different, how we consider gaming now versus when we were kids. And we were kind of talking about just going back to how we enjoyed games as a kid, and how that's just the way that pretty much all of us have found enjoyment from it. I didn't have a whole lot of games as a kid, but the games I did have, I played the crap out of. If I had a system, I might have had 3 or 4 games total for that system. How is he so fast? Whoa! So what I was saying before is I was okay, I guess I shouldn't be upset if even in a whole console generation, I have 3 or 4 games that I just really love from that generation. I think I'm at peace with that. Hi, Rigoberto. Yes, this is still my first playthrough. I've been playing this since the beginning. I've just been taking my time with it, and I've gone through some very major life changes. And so the stream kind of keeps me I don't know if responsible is the right word. But more like, it gets me into a headspace where I just kind of allow myself to enjoy playing Elden Ring for a few hours every week. Yeah, Frankie, this place really is big. Like, I kind of enjoyed the linear cave that it was before. And now I've forgotten where the elevator is, but that's okay. When we were talking about Bloodborne before, I got so lost. There were areas of Bloodborne that took me like a month to go through. Old Yarnum was one of them. Now I can finish Old Yarnum within an hour. But back in the day, oh my goodness, I got so lost. But the thing is that I got so lost that like it forced me to find my way around. So that's how I learned how to navigate that area. I agree. I think that the difficulty was pretty much something I was prepared for because I've been into From Software games for a long time. But the size of this game, you're right, it makes it very intimidating. I still love it. Oop, I guess I can't. Oop. But yeah, the sheer size of it, it's like, oh, it's so much to handle. Oh, nope. Oh, look at that! It's like Skyrim horse mechanics. You beat Bloodborne 3 times, that's awesome! You can never figure out how to beat the labyrinth dungeons. It's so fun! I recommend going back if you can. If you have one character that has beaten it 3 times, I do recommend going back with your high-level character. The thing about the Chalice dungeons is that they do get very difficult. Scarlet Bud. I don't think I finished those until at least after my first or second playthrough. But I really enjoyed it, but you do have to have a very strong character, so don't lose faith. Don't be afraid to call in, like, friends or people with your beckoning bell. I think because it's Bloodborne's 10th anniversary, I think Meph, and who is behind the Bloodborne wiki, she is doing another Return to Yharnam event, so if you ever wanted to go back down into the Chalice dungeons, there might be people who would be really happy to help you. I was a fan. I did really like the Chalice dungeons. I'd heard complaints before, so I was like dreading doing it, and then one day I got kind of, I guess, bored. And I was like, oh, I've experienced Bloodborne, I've beaten it. I've beaten it, but like, oh, I just want more Bloodborne, what do I do? And then I was like, oh, I guess I can do the Chalice dungeons. And I started it, and I was like, oh, this is cool. This is like being a zombie Lara Croft. Is BB on sale? I think it might be, Inspector. You lost for ages in the play. Yeah, the Forbidden Woods is the biggest part, the biggest single part of Bloodborne. I think the Forbidden Woods and the Shadows of Yharnam is about where the game clicked for me. I think it was Old Yharnam, the Witches of Hemwick, and then subsequently the Forbidden Woods. The first time I played, I was not concerned with getting everything. Instead, what I focused on was, and the not cheat, but the like real strategy to the Forbidden Woods is just continue going down. If you're confused, go downward. Move down. You'll eventually get it. But my first playthrough, I was so scared. Bloodborne Game of the Year edition is $17.50 until March 27th. At least in euros. Oh, that's neat. Not sure about American. I will say, I personally got Bloodborne in 2015. It was like 6 months after the release when I got it for $20 US. Seriously, best $20 I think I ever spent. I wish, like, it's probably the only game where I'm like, oh, I could have spent more. Every other game, it's like, ah, geez, that's a lot of money. Bloodborne, like, no, I could spend more money on that game. Yeah, I do, and I would say that it was my... I think... I forget my... this is another video that I have on the web... on the channel. In 2019, I made a best, or my favorite games of the decade video. I think Bloodborne was either 1 or 2. I feel like it in hindsight, it should be number 1. But I think the only game that has a chance of surpassing it and might have surpassed it was Breath of the Wild. I loved that game. Like, I'm a longtime Zelda fan, and Breath of the Wild was such a great refresher for the whole series. The series, I think, as a whole, can be hit and miss, but that kind of makes things exciting, I guess. But that also means that, like, there's... Especially now, I realize I was like, oh, I'm not gonna pressure myself to play every single Zelda game ever. You know, because it's alright. They're kind of hit and miss, so... At this point, you do have the luxury of picking games that you like in the Zelda series and just play it and enjoy it. Hello, Boars. And I think that's a perfectly acceptable way to enjoy playing the series. If you're like, and you know, I didn't really care for Twilight Princess. That's me. That's fine. Because there are probably like 3 or 4 or 5 other games that you freaking love from the series. Like, I did not enjoy Tears of the Kingdom. I got... How far did I get? I got 6 hours in, and then I realized the game was not for me, and I do not regret that decision, frankly. Oh, it's $17.49. So worth it. If you like From Software games at all, I highly, highly, highly recommend it. Don't you dare applaud this message. But yeah, if you play Dark Souls, if you play Elden Ring, play Bloodborne. Out of all the From Software games, that is still my favorite of all of them. I really love it. I think that the difficulty balance started getting a little awry around the time of Sekiro. I think it was kind of perfected around Dark Souls 3 and Bloodborne. Went a little off at Sekiro, and then Elden Ring is just like an exaggeration of what made the gameplay balance kind of not great. You own Bloodborne and have beaten it, yay, on your PS5 now. It doesn't have a disc drive. Oh, that's too bad. Yeah, I think the online store might play it. That's too bad. This is why I love having a disc drive, because I own the game and I can put it back in the system when I want. And I agree that streaming is very convenient. Like, I love the convenience of it. But it's not the same as, like, you're like, oh, I have this game. Just pop it in. Don't have to pay more for it. But I think Bloodborne's one of those games that you're like, if you want to buy it more than once, you buy it more than once. It's worth it. I'm so lost. I know Frankie said there's a Shadow Tree fragment. I couldn't see it. Maybe I'll go back later to find it, but I'm just gonna continue pressing forward. If I missed it, I can always go back. It'll still be there. Oh my god, I hear something. That was like an amalgamation of 2 different accents. I don't understand how that happened. I've spent enough time, so I'm from Massachusetts. So people from outside of Massachusetts will often point out when, like, the slight bit of, like, northeastern sort of dialects or specifically Boston accents might come out. What is that? But now I've lived in Florida for a very long time, and Florida's pretty generic when it comes to accents, but some people have southern accents, so I think that that was kind of an amalgamation of southern and Bostonian, and that was very strange. What? What are those? What is that? What? Oh, it's an archer. Sorry, my cat's very cute. Oh, Bubba. Hi. I wish you could see him. He's extremely cute right now. I'll take a little picture. This area, I know I haven't explored all of it. Ah! No! Okay. Oh, did I not ruin everything? I didn't ruin everything. I'm terrible at navigating on torrent. I'm very bad at it. It is the first thing I will admit. I will admit to that. I will admit it 9 times. Yeah, I'll rebuy a game that I really like. Oh my goodness, one game I'm really excited and that I very much hope that they remake is Chrono Trigger. See, I missed out on it the first time round. Like, there are certain consoles I didn't have growing up. Like, I didn't have a PS1, and I did not have a Super Nintendo, which means I kind of missed out on quite a few really good, like, very classic RPGs and RPGs from Japan. I eventually, I used to be a big PC gamer, like, growing up. You wouldn't think from all the console gaming I do now, but I was huge on it when I was younger. So eventually I knew that I kind of missed out, so I got an emulator on my PC and I played Dragon Warrior, which was the first iteration of Dragon Quest. That looks like Rauh